everyone. Welcome to Flock Talk, episode number 28. Today we're going to be celebrating the career of Reggie Fils-Aimé and his contributions to gaming. It should be a good time. So we're going to be talking about Reggie Fils-Aimé, but before that, we got some hot topics to cover.
Hot topics.
Kathryn, I want to start with you. What you got going on in the hot topics? Something sizzling? Something simmering there?
Sizzle.
I don't know if it's super hot. I just recently started playing Oceanhorn on the PS4.
Oh.
I think we have a limited release copy.
The limited run games copy.
Yeah, the limited run games version. And it's just like a little adventure game. It's very similar to the game Yonder that I was talking about.
Which is very similar to Link.
Yeah, and it's a lot just like a Zelda game, I think.
Something.
Right, yeah.
I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 hours into it. It's really cute. I haven't really been following the story that closely. I just know that I have to go get emblems. It's like a fun little game, though. Like, you have your dad's journal and you're trying to go find him, I think, and you have to get these emblems to save your island, and they send you to different islands. So your map kind of unlocks as people tell you about different islands that they've been to or islands that you need to go to. It's fun. Like, you have a little boat and you gotta navigate to the islands, and you can shoot from your boat. So there's like little mines and barrels and things and little monster like octopus maybe that pops up, and you have to octopi that you have to shoot. There's fun stuff to do while you're in your boat, and then I think the first thing you find is a sword. So it's just it's like a basic sword and shield, run around stabbing crabs and stuff like that. And it has a leveling system, so I think I'm like level 7 now, maybe. I think it's a relatively short game. It's only supposed to take like 14 or 15 hours. I've beaten 2 bosses. I really like how every time you talk to someone and they'll just say, oh, I went to such and such island, or sometimes I found like a message in a bottle, and in the message it'll name an island, and then that island will appear on your map as a place that you can go visit.
Sounds like Sea of Thieves.
A little bit, but nobody's shooting you and stealing your booty.
That's a problem I have, not just in Sea of Thieves. Everybody's after my booty.
Oh, right.
After his booty.
My friend Colette started playing it. I kind of mentioned it to her, and she also has a copy, so she's like, oh yeah, I should play it too, and she just started playing it. And then I was joking with her because when you open your menu it kind of just shows like all your inventory, and one of the buttons is called fish log, and I was like, I think there's going to be fishing in this game, but I hadn't received the fishing rod yet. I thought
it was some type of food.
No.
That sounded not very delicious.
No, it's
I'll have a fish log, please.
It's your fish compendium.
Oh, fish log, like you eat at Christmas. That's the one where it's like,
yeah,
where it's like cake. And it's
just
fish.
Miscellaneous fish.
Yeah, it's just ground up fish inside of it.
Did you guys ever have like those 70s Jello molds? I think we had like a salmon shaped Jello mold that was for that, like, I think it was for salmon jelly. Like that was a thing in the 70s and 80s, maybe. I don't know. I never had any, but we had the mold hanging on our wall or something.
Local key party.
And also, like, why did people store their Jello molds on the wall like it was art?
I don't think people did.
I think people didn't they?
No.
Is that just my mom?
Just your mom, I think. Because they kind of looked like decorations a little bit.
It was a little pinkish colored metal mold.
Matches the wallpaper.
Oh yeah, we had wood paneling in our kitchen as well.
Oh, tell me more.
But
yeah, they call those ocean horns.
Oh, I didn't know what the origin of the title was for this game, but it makes sense.
It's all based on Jello molds from the 70s.
I just want to say that I finally got my fishing rod, and I made the joke with my friend saying, I guess I'm going to be playing Oceanhorn 2.0 now because I'm just going to be fishing. But I made the mistake. Well, I don't know if it was a mistake. I caught 3 different kinds of fish, and I thought, oh, they show up in my log now. But it's not the type of log that shows you like all the blank spots. You just scroll through all the ones that you caught.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, because I'm curious to know. There's only 7 different fish. So I'm already...
Oh, you can't put
not
fishing in
enough.
and then only have 7 fish.
Why even? I'm speechless.
I think some of them might
7
be
fish.
rare. So I
Was
think
this
it's like...
game made in the 70s with the Jello mold?
7 fish.
I think it
7
might also
fish.
end up being really frustrating too, because I think it's not just 7 fish. I think like some of them are kind of like rare drops, right? So I probably
so only
will
like
have
5
to keep
fish.
fishing over and over and over again just to catch the 2 or 3 that I'm missing. Like I think there's going to be a couple more common ones, but
The only explanation for 7 fish is that each represent a sin.
Oh, the 7 deadly fish.
The 7 deadly
I don't
fish.
know. One of them was blue.
Pufferfish,
Blowfish.
blue fish, red fish,
1 fish and 2 fish. Yeah, okay.
Those are the 7.
I like
yeah.
the game. I think it's short, and I think that's probably why there's not a lot of fishing, is because I'll be done the game probably in like probably maybe a third of the way through. Well, I am a third of the way through if you're going by the number of emblems, because
I don't know what else I'd be using.
I found 1 emblem and
Wait.
there's 3 that you need.
Is this game good?
It is. I like it a lot. It's really cute. The combat, it's like pretty simple. There's a little bit of like puzzle solving where like kind of like block pushing puzzles where, you know, you have to push them out of the way or use them to bridge gaps so that you can access
Okay.
different areas.
Yeah.
It is one of those type of games though where like they'll show you a percentage complete for islands, and you can probably finish, like you definitely can finish the game without doing everything there is to do on an island. And it is very much the type of game where you can't do everything your first time anyway. Like you'll find more equipment and more abilities,
Right.
and you have like magic spells.
And you gotta go back.
You have to
gotta
go
go
back
back.
to them to get
Backtrack.
everything done.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of the stuff that you can find if you go back will be heart containers. Like you find like a quarter of a heart container, and
Sure.
once you get 4, you get an extra life. So you can do all that stuff to make the game easier for you, probably.
So
but
it's just like Mario Brothers then.
it's I feel like it seems more like Link, like
I
a
don't
Zelda.
know.
A
It does
Zelda
sound like a weird FPS though. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, like a shmup. I don't really hear a lot of Link in there. I hear more
No,
shmup.
there's no shooting.
And
Oh, I did get a
text-based,
bow.
That's weird too.
Oh, you got a bow. Oh, so it's a lot like that game where you're on the back of a horse and you shoot things with your bow and arrow.
Oh, Red Dead.
Medieval 2,
Medieval 2.
Dawn of Plumbing.
It's its own game, and I enjoy it.
It sounds like a really good time, especially the fishing part. I've been playing a game with fishing too recently.
Oh, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a Far Cry New Dawn. Now sit back, let me tell you a tale of EB games.
Oh, these are always
It's
People
been a
good.
love
while.
your EB game
It's
stories.
been a little while. So I still had some pre-orders left over, and there was different amounts of money on the pre-orders from different trade-in specials that I've gotten over the years. Far Cry just showed up out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it to come out. It just kind of shadow dropped on me. And I was at the EB Games. I was like, can you move the money around on all my pre-orders so I get this game? And they did it. They gave me the game, and I came home, played it, loved it. I'll get more into the game in a second, but eventually got to return that game full price. They put the credit right back on the games that I moved the credit from.
Such a stupid business
It was
model.
like a free 10-day rental. And I returned it on the 10th day by accident, because normally I'd only have 7 days to return a game, but they just upgraded my EB Games card to an Onyx, which gives me 3 more days to return games.
I feel like I should be a little bit concerned that you're suddenly Onyx. Like, have you been going to EB Games a lot?
So
Secretly.
Far Cry New Dawn is such a great follow-up to Far Cry 5. It takes place way in the future.
But EB Games...
Yeah, and exactly, Kathryn. The cult leader, Joseph, is back.
Is this the one that's like, it's not the lasers one, right?
The lasers.
Like the one that's set in
talking
like
about?
the future 80s? The 80s, but the future?
Oh, are you talking about the Blood Dragon?
Yeah, that's not this
Yeah.
one. That's not what you're talking
No,
about.
this one takes place in the future, I believe. as well, because it follows Far Cry 5, which ends where the cult leader predicts the end of the world.
Spoiler alert.
But the thing about this game was that when it was announced, they spoiled the ending of the previous game in all the trailers, right?
Right. So,
and there was a lot of controversy around that, as well as the actual ending of Far Cry 5. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought it was a bit of a downer. People like to be the hero at the end of the game, and when they see the villain win, they feel like all the progress was for nothing. But this new game is pretty rad. The thing about Far Cry games is that the villain always takes the spotlight, and this game is no different. I really like the twins as the antagonists of the game. I really felt like their presence was always known, even when they weren't on the screen, and that's something that I really like in a game, when I can feel the presence of the enemy without them having to show up every time.
Sure.
Yeah, you played this a lot when I wasn't around, so I didn't see a lot of it, but I got the sense that there weren't as many scenes where they were in it. Like Far Cry 5, which I guess is a longer game anyway, there was like the main villain, but there were others too.
Yeah,
and
it was like the whole inner circle of that cult.
Yeah, and you triggered a lot of scenes with them, right? Like there were quite a few scenes with them, and I felt like I saw you play a fair bit of the game, and I think I only ever saw the twins like maybe twice in 2 scenes, but I don't know how much I missed.
That also makes it more powerful when they do show up, right? And you hear, I remember the first time I saw the twins in the game, before I even saw them, you just see the headlights of their car and an entourage of cars coming down the street, and you just hear slowly the music, the volume going up and up of Die Antwoord's Fatty Boom Boom, and I was like, oh man, it was perfect. I love Die Antwoord, so that was a great moment for me personally, but at the same time, it was just like listening to these people blaring music, partying like there's no issue here, while everybody else is trying to survive.
Yeah, their music pops up a lot in it, actually. And
I think that's just because it's a very short track list in the game.
They license like actual music by them and stuff. So,
but is the gameplay find a tower, go up the tower, activate a tower, do some things around the tower, and then go get a new tower?
There's no towers.
Is there a thing that functions like a tower?
There are bases that you have to infiltrate and liberate.
And is there some way to figure out what's in your area?
It's just the map is basically... No, the map had the fog of war, and you just had to go in the area to unlock it.
Okay.
Like
but
Warcraft.
Sometimes under the fog, there would be an actual, like,
a little
waypoint or something that you could go to.
And you unlock fast travel really quickly in the game.
Oh, okay.
And so you can just zip around the map almost immediately.
Have you played any Far Cry games before?
Yes, I have played Far Cry 1. I have played Far Cry 3, the one on the island, or is that Far Cry 4?
That's 3.
Yeah, 3, the one on like the jungle island.
Yeah, that's the one that I keep hearing that Far Cry 3 is the one that kind of jumpstarts the franchise.
Yeah, that one was good. I didn't play it all the way through, because how could you?
Because you're Chris.
Because, yeah, I got tired of it. Listen, there's only so many times I'm going to go infiltrate another base.
I finished this game and returned it in 10 days.
I know, you just grind through them.
This one's really easy to grind through. It's not very long at all. It's under 20 hours.
Yeah, you have the patience of a saint is what you have.
Also, it's real. I really like, I've never played Far Cry at all, but I've seen him now play through these last 2. And the companions are always like kind of fun aspects. Like they change them up a bit. They all like kind of serve the same purpose or whatever. They don't change really the roles, but I just like the variation of them. I liked when you unlock the granny. I was around when you unlock the granny, and she's like a sharpshooter sniper. And so to unlock her, you have to do like the sniper missions, like a sniper challenge or whatever. And it was like, I don't know, you probably hated it because you didn't like you don't like sniping.
But... Yeah, I generally don't, but they made it easy enough to unlock her. And then if you wanted to keep going, you could do like the harder versions of those
and
training
she was just a fun character, I found. Like,
yeah, I agree with you. I think that the companions are such a nice addition to the Far Cry franchise, and you get 2 animal companions, which is what I really liked in Far Cry 5 was the animal companions. You get a dog and you get a boar, like a warthog.
Oh, like a trainable warthog?
Well, it's like
he's a boar.
It's a boar. It's a boar.
But he has tusks.
I forget their names. They had cute names.
Timber.
Timber was the dog.
Timber
yeah.
and Pumbaa.
Oh, Horatio.
Horatio was the boar.
And they fixed it so that the dog rides in the car with you this time. That was a big...
But Horatio doesn't ride in the car with me.
Yeah.
Even if I was in a pickup truck, he should have jumped in the back of a
Yeah.
pickup
I
truck.
think that
He
maybe
should've.
they're not as agile.
I think that the programming is a little lazy.
He's a big boar.
No, it's
right?
lazy.
Like in the other game, you had a bear and a bobcat or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
bobcat,
wouldn't
yeah.
they wouldn't have ridden in the car either, I don't think. Or cougar.
You just got to this island. How are you able to train pumas? Where did you learn to train a puma?
Well, each one's a different mission.
Oh, so the mission tells you how to train it.
Yeah, so the mission to get Nana on your side was to do that sniper course. I went to a compound that was torturing animals, and I freed all the animals, and I saved Horatio from getting a beating. And so Horatio found a friend in me. And me and Horatio are going to go on a bunch of quests together. Well, not anymore. I returned the game. But Horatio can go on quests with somebody else now.
I think that it would be fun to have a spin-off, like buddy cop type
Yeah.
game. You and Horatio.
Peaches and Horatio.
Peaches was the cougar from
Yeah.
the last game.
Me and my puma.
There was also
Cheeseburger the bear.
Cheeseburger the bear. Yeah, like the animal companions are fun, and so they are tied in. They're not wild animals that suddenly fight with you. They were somehow.
Although there are tons of wild animals that will attack you at a
yeah, it was
The
really
snakes and the sharks are the scariest because they come out of nowhere. Anyway, Far Cry 5.
I found it
New
really
Dawn.
sorry. I just found it really upsetting because there were wild dogs also that attacked you, and you had to shoot
Yeah.
and kill a lot of dogs, and I found that very upsetting.
Yeah, you have to kill a lot of dogs in that game. If you have a problem with killing dogs,
You have to control the pet population. Obviously, this island has not been neutering their dogs. And so you've got to
yeah,
control
it's like
it in
the
other ways.
leftovers. Like the first couple episodes of the leftovers.
Also, speaking of pumas, every time I need to name a group of people in a game, I name them the Pumas.
No, why?
I do.
Why?
I do. It's always.
It's been your favorite shoe for a long time. I know that.
It's true. I am playing Etrian Odyssey 4, the Fafnir Night right now, and my guild is called the Pumas. And every time I go into a place, the old guy's like, "Hello, Pumas."
I find having to name things extremely stressful in games, so much so that I'll turn the game off and then sleep on it, and then the next time I play I'll be ready to name something. I am so bad at naming things on the fly. It really bothers me.
I always name them my friends.
Yeah, you do.
My protagonists in Atlas games are always named Leonardo because I always think it's cool to have like a really tall, thin anime guy named Leonardo.
All right.
There you go.
Interesting.
That's Chris got a crush.
Is it your favorite Ninja Turtle?
No, my favorite Ninja Turtle's Donatello.
I think
a good
that
one. That's
I
mine
think that
too.
one, wait, is that one mine? Who's the
Purple.
computer nerd?
Yeah, that's
I
Donatello.
like the nerd.
Speaking of nerds, Chris, you went to go see Amadeus.
I went to go see Amadeus live.
What do you mean live? Was Amadeus there?
No, Amadeus is dead in a mass grave, as is the Viennese tradition. But see, that's the value added proposition of this podcast. Now, whenever you hear the question, where was Amadeus, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart buried, you can be like, oh, actually, he's in a mass grave at Vienna and it's unmarked and you could never find it anyway. So we went to Amadeus Live. That is where they show the movie, and at the same time there is an orchestra playing the soundtrack of the movie, basically. It was nice. It was fun. Not going to talk too long about it, but it was nice and fun. The people in front of us decided that they were at a rodeo, and so they
were cheering?
They both had two big things of popcorn. They both had never eaten popcorn with their mouth closed in their whole lives, and they must have had some kind of swallowing problem because
Oh, no.
it was coming out of their mouth as much as it was going in. So during the credits, the orchestra still plays, so you stay until they're done playing, and then you give them like an ovation. But these people left once the credits started. They were done. They got up.
They only came to see the movie.
No, they did
that
not.
was it.
They did not care one bit. They got up, lights come on, popcorn all over the ground.
Oh,
These people
no.
were a friggin' disaster.
Chris, I have to tell you, those seats were vacant. You spilled a bunch of popcorn. It was you all the time. Oh my God.
Are you ever like alone by yourself, like in an elevator, and you like
Nope.
do something lonely in an elevator, like look at yourself in the mirror, but then maybe you think like, oh, what if there's a human in here and I'm just a crazy person?
Why do you think looking at the mirror is a lonely
No, like
thing
you start
to
doing
do?
your hair, you like mess up your
Oh,
hair.
you mean more just like private?
Yeah, like private
Like
things.
nobody's looking.
Yeah,
I
I think
can
that
check my nose hairs or.
Yeah.
I think it's more that Chris is like, he just gets guilt when he's doing something that's narcissistic.
Oh, look at
so he
this.
sees himself in the mirror and he's fixing his hair and he's like, what would somebody else think? What if somebody else was here?
I'm feeling a reflective shame in the mirror. This is no longer flock talk. This is psych talk.
Let's dig a little bit deeper into Chris's psyche.
Is his name Leonardo?
Digging even deeper into my psyche, I have been playing Tetris 99, which is the other thing I want to talk about.
Oh, yes. I want to hear about this.
So Tetris 99 is a free game on the Nintendo Switch. You should get it, because it's free. But in order to play it, you need to have the Nintendo subscription. It costs $20 for the year. You get access right now to about 20-ish Nintendo games. Most of them suck. They're old Nintendo games. A few of them are very bueno, though. So if you wanted to play through some of the older, really good stuff, it's all on there. Once you pay the $20 a year, you can play Tetris 99. And Tetris 99 is Tetris against 99 other people. And
Real people or bots?
real people. I think it's real people.
Have you met them?
It's real people. It's real people.
And at any time of the day, it takes 10 seconds to get into it. So, like, you're in it, you're playing,
Oh, there's just always people playing.
you get bumped out, another game's, like, gonna fire in 10 seconds. So just get into the next one. So you can just grind games of it.
And you know that there's some professional players out there with 4 switches just
That's how they play it. How Tetris 99 works is that it's just Tetris, and as the Tetrises build, as the blocks build up, if it goes all the way to the top, you get knocked out. If you do really well and you get more than one line, if you get 2 to 4 lines in one piece, you send pieces to other people. So you send like lines of stuff to other people.
like Tetris Attack.
Yeah, like if you could link 2 Tetrises in a row, you're gonna send someone like 8 lines, and it's gonna like crush them.
Can you choose who you send it to? Or...
Yes. So you can use the touch screen to send it specifically to people. You can choose whether or not you want to send it only to people who are attacking you. You can choose to send it to people who you would knock out of the game. Because if you do knock people out of the game, you get a badge. As these badges add up, you not only send 1 or 2 lines, you send like multiples of lines depending on how many badges you have. So by the end, it's like 2 people with all the badges between each other, just like trying to eke out some Tetrises so that they can send each other like 16 lines at a time. It gets faster as it goes, to the point where it's like almost instantaneous dropping by the time you get into the top 10. That makes it very hard to get into, say, the top 3. And then if you're like me, you win it twice.
Oh, twice!
Twice.
This guy with his 4 switches.
It's
I also like how he's like, it's really difficult
It's
to
so
get into
hard.
it.
10? Nobody's ever done
No,
it.
you
Top
can't.
10? You couldn't make top 10.
Oh, you gotta be like ranked, world
You gotta be
ranked.
Bobby Fischer to be top 3. Bobby Fischer hasn't done it. He's on the bubble. 4. 4 is Bobby Fischer. He doesn't play Tetris, to be fair. But top 3, that's when the competition really gets stiff.
But that is when the top... I get knocked out at like 80, and I'm like, this is garbage. I hate this. Because like, I know I can do better.
When you won, or when you make it like top 10 even, how long is that game?
Game lasts, I think at maximum, you get to top 10 in about 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is it just because there's a lot of people who are bad at Tetris playing it?
It must be, but I mean, when multiple people gang up on you, as you go on, it takes longer and longer to knock people out. Like the top 20 to the top 10 can be a longer period of time.
And it feels more skill-based at that point.
Yeah, and by the end, you want to be into the top 3 with like almost no blocks built up.
Yeah.
Because if you've got blocks halfway, you're done, but they're both going to just target you and you're out. Like, there's not much to it. So, like, what's bringing you back is the idea that maybe this time I will do really well. Maybe this time I'll win. But there really is nothing for winning. There's a leveling system that doesn't matter at all, as far as I can see.
Now, what would you like as a reward for winning?
I don't know. You know, because, like, they can't give you bonuses because...
Then it would ruin the entire game.
Yeah, then it would ruin the experience. And they could maybe give you a few cosmetic things, but...
Like lipstick.
I've played it the entire month of February since it came out, and I would say that it's probably the game that I've played the most all year.
Now, has this put the kibosh on you going back to Tetris Effect?
I have not gone back to Tetris Effect, but I prefer Tetris Effect as an enjoyable game. This is more like, I just want to keep winning this. The winning has changed it.
The competitive edge.
Yes.
Brought you back into it.
See, I don't think I'm competitive enough for that to be a big driving factor for me. I like Tetris. I don't know how much I'd like.
It's short enough.
Maybe.
See, but that's the thing. That's why I got addicted to Overwatch, because the games were short enough that it's just one more, just one more.
Yeah.
It's like you picked it up because you wanted to play a short game, and then you're sitting there for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of people in the club who are playing it. I know Mighty Q Dog was posting some pictures. I think he made it. I don't know if he's won yet, but I think he was second, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think P1 also has been playing. I'm not sure who else is, though. But I've seen a few people like posting their high scores or whatever. And also there's a leveling system, right? So
yeah.
But you don't get anything. It just...
I don't think so. I'm like a level 37, 38 now.
Oh,
It
wow.
doesn't matter. Oh, yeah. But Nina and I will pass it back and forth between each other.
Yeah,
I'll play
yeah.
one game. She'll play the next game.
If you hit level 9,999, they
What do you
actually
get?
fly you out to Russia, and you get a small home there, like a more of a shack. It's nothing to write home about, but you have to live there.
Yeah, you get a little Snowden home.
If you do really well, does that home eventually turn into a spaceship and then fly into space? If you get like the highest
Some fireworks
score
go
possible,
off.
fireworks, and it just turns into a rocket for some reason.
Yeah,
Tetris is a weird game.
that's what happens. I was going to say something else. Oh, no, it's gone. I was
I
going to
have
say
another
something
question.
else. Yeah.
Mr. Gerardo,
Yes, in the back there, you.
here's a question.
Yeah.
When people can gang up on you and drop bricks, is there a chat system? Like before the match, can you be like ASL and then like meet up with people or discuss strategy?
ASL.
Yeah, like just find out who you're dealing with.
I don't think Nintendo does that because
There should be an
No.
there's for
There's
kids.
no chatting with people on Nintendo platforms. They know, listen, Nintendo knows who's playing Nintendo
But
games.
then they let people drop pictures.
No, they don't want
They let anybody draw a picture.
they don't want 35 to 45-year-olds direct messaging the 11-year-olds. They don't want it. They're uninterested. They're like, we know that the people that were playing our games in the 80s are still playing our games, and there's a small population of them that we don't want anywhere near children. So we're not going to enable the chat. PlayStation and Microsoft are like, give it to whoever. We don't care. But Nintendo, it cares about the kids.
So on that note, speaking about Nintendo, we're going to be talking about Reggie Fils-Aimé and all of his contributions to the gaming industry.
Are you tired of email? Are you tired of getting your message to people instantaneously? Well, you need envelopes and stamps. Send a letter to a friend with envelopes and stamps. You can write lots of letters to people, and the stamps are inexpensive too. Postage is so cheap these days, why not send a letter with envelopes and stamps?
Reggie Fils-Aimé, the man, the myth, the legend, the entrepreneur, the bachelor. So many titles for one man, but he deserved them all for his amazing contributions to gaming. I mean, when he was with Nintendo and he made Contra, home run, absolute home run. And then still to this day, he's putting out gems like Smash and Splatoon 2 and Hello Kitty cruisers. Just all the big hits.
He's one of the greatest designers of all time.
And just prolific.
Prolific.
Non-stop.
You could say that twice.
Not just video game design, though. Like, design in general. Like, when you think of the iPod and you think of, like, earbuds.
And then you think of earbuds.
AirPods.
Oh, yeah, they're called AirPods, not AirPods.
Let's talk about Reggie, though.
Yeah, about time.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about Super Mario Brothers 3.
One of his best.
One of his best.
That is just like, it's just like he figured it out, right? He had Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah.
And he was like still toying with some ideas.
Yeah, he was playing around.
But when 3 came out, it had it all, right? A little raccoon tail.
Oh, the tanuki suits.
Yeah, the like teddy bear statue.
Known as Reggie suits in Japan.
You only ever get one. You only ever get it for a minute. But that tanuki suit, that was a beautiful artistic expression of what Reggie held in his heart, like his whole life.
Just wanted to fly, man. He just wanted to fly.
Can't blame him. Flew too close to the sun, had to retire rich.
He just wanted to become a piece of stone. He just wanted to be immortal.
And also, I feel like maybe he was not a strong swimmer. And so then he was like, you know what would really help? Frog suit.
Frog suit.
Ooh.
Frog suit.
Right? The frog suit. I mean, it really is like, it's like an autobiographical game,
Basically,
really, right?
Basically, yeah. Yeah, basically it was.
He's Mario. It's all so clear now. Anyway, I feel like that's the pinnacle. Like maybe that's the jump start. Like he was toying around with some stuff, but for me, when he hit Super Mario Brothers 3, that's where he hit his stride for me. I don't know, Myles.
My first experience with Reggie Fils-Aimé was when I was at the Byway when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
And they had a clearance bin of games. And in that clearance bin of games was Wolfenstein 3D for the Super Nintendo. Now I know what you're going to say. Reggie had nothing to do with this one. It was a PC game. It was id Software. But when Reggie played that game, he said, Nintendo will have this. And he went and he met the people at id Software and he said, Nintendo will have this. And they said, Reggie, if you're going to put in the work to do the port, if you reprogram this game from scratch, it's yours. And then we got the game that's now known as Wolfenstein 3D. It was known as that before as well.
It was knowing about it. It was the knowing that did it.
Really for sure.
Here's a little side note, though. I just want to mention, Byway's coming back.
Oh.
Yeah, did you hear the gimmick?
No.
It's not because of Reggie. Byway is coming back, but it's going to be $10 or under.
Oh, they're just going to rebrand Dollaramas as Byways.
It's a hoity-toity Dollarama.
Oh, it's Tenorama.
Tenorama.
It's that the tenors. If you got a tenor.
Yeah.
I just heard Byway and I was like, I remember it's coming back.
My favorite Reggie game, Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. It was gold. Right away, quality. Right away, coveting. Right away, you put it in, and you're in a room with a princess. And the game doesn't care if you ever leave that room. If you, as a child, don't understand anything about how this game works, why, when you go off the road, black things just show up and start moving around you, why there's no clear roadmap towards the first castle at all.
Who is Error?
Just go to that town. Hang out in the town. It is a walking from a town to a princess simulator, basically. And he was okay with that. He was okay with no clear direction on where to go, unless you read the manual. And that was his great idea, getting kids to read.
And, honestly, just having some respect for his audience and just acknowledging that these kids that are playing this game, they're smarter than we think. They'll be able to find the path if they keep looking.
That's right.
And the ones that don't, we don't need them.
We don't need them.
We don't need them. It's just
Which was a real weird policy shift.
Don't waste your time on those ones.
Actually, the people who did well on Legend of Zelda, The Adventure of Link, who did really well, they were entered into a contest secretly, and they got to go program other things at Nintendo. People don't know about this. The secret contest.
Were you one of those kids? How do you know?
I was, and I went on to program Pilot Wings. I don't know if you guys knew that.
That was you?
Me?
No,
100%.
it wasn't. It was Reggie.
I got you. It was
Super
Reggie.
Nintendo trying to pass that off.
It was Reggie. He did most of the work on Pilot Wings.
To be fair, Reggie made a couple stinkers too.
That's
Have
true.
you ever played Three Ninjas on the Nintendo? Come on, Reggie. What are you doing, Reg?
He just got a little bit lazy,
You're a little bit lazy. You ever play Total Recall on the Nintendo? You just fight rats in a sewer.
Could have just had a bad day.
Reggie did not watch Total Recall before he made Total Recall.
No.
I also think that, just like anyone, you go through like peaks and valleys. You go through peaks and valleys of like emotion and stuff. And his heart at the peaks, he's putting out all the huge winners, right?
His heart's just pumping.
All the stuff that people love.
Just pumping
right?
so hard.
But in those like valleys, that's kind of him at his lowest, and he just doesn't care.
His heart's not pumping
anymore.
anymore.
Out the Three Ninjas or whatever, right?
Slow beats.
He's human. Reggie is human.
You know a game I love by Reggie, but I haven't played, and I really want to play, and we have it, but we haven't played it. It's The Violinist of Hamelin. It looks like a really cute platformer where you're throwing this kid around.
But that's weird, because that's like a repro.
It's a Super Famicom game.
But hold on a second. Let me just look this up real quick.
I don't know what you have to look up, Reggie.
What is there to look up?
Guys, Reggie Fils-Aimé was just the CEO of Nintendo America. He didn't actually make any of these games.
Oh. Odds and ends.
All right, odds and ends. Oh man, I don't have anything to share.
Yes, we have lots of things to share. It's all club related, though.
Oh, you guys have been clubbing.
Like I said, nothing to share. No, Kathryn, big news. You were on CC Prime.
I was on CC Prime this month.
CC Prime kind of works like a book club for games. And you were on the podcast that talked about the game of the month, which was your namesake. Kathryn.
Oh, did you play Kathryn?
I did. I played it on the Xbox, so like it's backwards compatible on the Xbox One, so that's what I played it on. We just recorded it with Musty and Ryan, who are the new hosts, and it was me and Travis from Polykill, and we talked about Kathryn. I had always been curious about the game. I'd always seen it on the wall, and kind of wondered about it.
I just keep a giant poster on the wall
of Kathryn.
No, in the game stores, I'd always see it, and then I would make jokes like, hey, I should probably play this game because my name's Kathryn. And I never did.
What's the deal?
And then, so I'm actually really glad that I played it. I had no clue what kind of game it was. And then it's like a puzzle platformer, really.
Oh.
Yeah, so
judging by the cover, I always thought it was a motion-controlled sex simulator.
Pretty much. That's me too.
It's not, but there is. So the story part of it is all that. Like, it's basically a guy who needs to like figure out his life.
Oh yeah.
But the actual gameplay is a puzzle, like a vertical puzzle where you push.
It always is.
You push push and pull blocks
puzzle.
You just got to climb your way to the top of a tower, and it's usually by like pushing and pulling boxes. Yeah, so you can hear my thoughts about the game. It was a pretty fun conversation, and that podcast should be coming out soon. But we're now heading into March, so there are a few new games that the club is playing.
If you want to play a game on the PC or a console, you can play What Remains of Edith Finch. I haven't played it, so I don't know. Hands, feet, could be anything. CC Portable.
Wait, what kind of game is that?
It is a walking simulator.
Oh.
For those of you who haven't walked before.
Nope.
We don't have a copy, but I think I've always been curious about it, and I've heard really good things. So I think maybe I will try to get a copy and play along.
I think that the title of the game is a question so that it enhanced its search engine optimization.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
I think a lot of people are searching for that. CC Portable is March Madness on the Game Boy Advance. So for March Madness, you play basketball games and
no,
is that what it is, or?
You just play any game you want on Game Boy Advance, and then if you beat it, you kind of just tweet at CC Portable Unite, and they will talk about it on the podcast. They kind of just want to just talk about the system as a whole and what people were playing on it. So if you have a Game Boy Advance or a way to play Game Boy Advance games, you should totally tag them and let them know what you've played this month. I think we have a couple Game Boy Advances and we have ways to play them.
We have a bunch of Game Boy Advance games and a bunch of ways to play Game Boy Advance games.
Oh, we have so many ways to play. I'm going to do it. I'm going to play some Game Boy Advance games.
If you have any recommendations for Kathryn.
Oh, yeah. Like, tell me what I should be playing, because I really don't know the system that well. I like that. Is it the March of the Minis or something? The Mario game with like a Donkey Kong Mario game?
Oh, there's Donkey Kong versus Mario versus Donkey Kong.
And Donkey Kong versus the Predator.
Oh, yeah. And
okay.
the Predator versus
All right,
Zelda.
Chris, I'm going to spend a lot of time looking for that game, so...
So speak now. No, that's completely true.
Tweet me recommendations at K_song.
Chris, odds and ends, buddy. Got anything for us?
Odds and Ends is something I am very much looking forward to coming out because I learned about it a week and a half ago. And if you know me, you know I get really excited about things, get into a thing for 2 weeks, and then let it settle into the basement and create a nice sediment of games upon games.
And dust.
So what thing are you looking forward to that you're only going to be interested in for 2 weeks after it comes out?
What is the thing? It's a new box set for the Warhammer 40k game called Shadow Spear. The models are all new. Every model in it is new. They look amazing.
Oh, you tweeted a picture of one.
I did tweet a picture, and it looks so sick. It's this hooded guy, and he's one of the Space Marine librarians who are these like psychic warriors.
Oh yes, the Space Marine librarian.
The Space Marine librarian. He's got a sword. He's got a hood.
It's an important job.
Yeah.
Who else is gonna do it?
Who's going to lend out the books?
Who else is going to shoot you when you turn to chaos?
But it was already... Are they pre-painted and stuff?
No.
Oh, so then
No.
what was the one that you showed?
That was the one Games Workshop puts up as like a, hey, look at what this will look like when you paint it.
Oh, so it is going to be just a blank canvas.
Of course, they always are.
Are they... Oh,
That's the worst part.
Really? You could never get a pre-painted one?
No, actually, the painted ones you have to buy from people who paint them, and they're expensive.
Oh, yeah, you've sold stuff before.
I like traded stuff.
You don't like doing that for other people, right? You like painting them just for yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I could never charge an amount of money that would be fair for my level of skill versus how long it takes me.
I see.
How much would you charge if you had to charge?
I did a dragon recently. You can see it on my Twitter and on the Flock Talk Instagram, the Flock of Nerds Instagram. I've been posting pictures up of it. That probably took me 4 weeks of about 4-ish hours during the week. I'd watch TV, I'd do it while I was doing stuff. So probably like 12 to 16 hours. And it would probably, like if you charged even minimum wage, like 12 to 16 hours, you get up to like the $200 range. And that doesn't cover materials and, what am I doing with my time and money?
Yeah.
So what is this box set then?
The box set is a whole new army. It's 2 armies versus each other, probably about 20 to 25-ish models aside. And you get 2 smallish armies for like a small game, and obviously you can build them up, but if you just wanted to play the box, it'll come with like a campaign, a few scenarios in the box for like, this is the specific battle in this specific place. Models are all new. The chaos models look crazy. I've never been into chaos models before. I saw these ones, I was like, whoa, these ones are nice. There's some good stuff in there. So if anyone in your life wants to get into it, these are usually the box sets to buy. They come out with about 1 a year. They tend to be about $120-ish, but they're a good segue into it.
That's Canadian though, right?
Yeah, Canadian.
So like Americans, like $60.
No, like
Nah, it'll be like 100.
100 still.
100 or so. I might be underplaying how expensive they are. They might be like 140, depending on where you get them from.
I see what you're trying to do.
I have a question.
You're trying to get more people into Warhammer.
Get more people into the hobby.
I just have a question about just the Warhammer world. Is there like an overarching lore to it all? Like, does it all tie together?
Oh my goodness,
the
yes.
same way as like D&D does? And
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes.
how far back does it go?
To like the 90s. They've been writing this
Really?
in like all of their various not even fan fictions, like official fictions and codexes. Codexes are like the books that tell you how to play with a specific army.
There's
Okay.
a guy at my work who just reads all the books. It
Yeah.
just stacks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it goes back to the 90s. It's like developed in the far-flung future of the 40,000th millennium. There is only war.
I mean, before the Warhammer 40k, there was 39k, 38k. 37.
No. It's 40,000 years of...
Basically, humans have become like crazy space fascists, and there are orcs in space, and there are space elves in space.
It really
And-
feels like that's where we're headed, so
Yeah.
seems about right. Oh, it's interesting. So it is a lot like D&D though, right? Where if you're super into D&D, there is like a main storyline that kind of ties all the way through.
Yes, that you can follow through all the books. Yeah. And the people who will play Warhammer, well, sometimes people who are into it in a certain way, there's kind of a few lanes that you can go down. But one of the lanes that I've always really wanted to go down, but, never have the people to do it with, is like a campaign game where you build the story over the matches. So like this match starts out small, and then something happens in that match and you take it into the next match and you like get to level up the guys. So this guy now becomes a sergeant. And when he goes forward and he dies, maybe like somebody else gets something, and you get little bonuses for the guys as it goes on. Yeah, you can build up a narrative and it becomes like an interesting thing instead of just like a one-on-one match.
And then you just can't find anyone to play that way with you.
Of course not. Because nobody's my next door neighbor that I can play it with. Because that's
You
what you
should
need.
teach your next door neighbor how to play now.
Ooh.
Do you know your next door neighbor?
He's that old man, right?
Yeah, the old Portuguese guy probably is not too interested in Warhammer, but I did see him painting a birdhouse outside. So I feel like if we just get a little
He's halfway
smaller,
there.
a little bit smaller, a little bit more expensive.
Put a mini inside the birdhouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just see if he notices.
Let's do it.
Maybe just starts painting it.
Let's do it.
Or just like when he's outside painting, you just be like, "Can I join you?" And then just show up with your tiny little figure.
With my even smaller things.
Yeah, just paint. So that's how you start a conversation.
It's a conversation starter.
It is.
Share your interests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Share your interests. Yeah.
Speaking about sharing interests, we want to share your interests with a bunch of people over at C3, because it's happening, baby! C3 is going to be at Too Many Games in Philadelphia this year.
That's the Cartridge Club convention. That's where a bunch of members of the Cartridge Club gather together, hang out, have a good time.
And it's going to be a video game convention, so a lot of us are going to be picking up games, trading games, selling games, talking about games,
Well,
looking at games.
We're not 100%
Nice.
sure that we're going, but
Right.
we did want people to know that it is happening. Last year it was at Chicago. All three of us went, and we had a really good time. We did record a live episode of Flock Talk, and I think they are doing live podcasts again on the Monday after Too Many Games. So people who are still around for that will be recording some podcasts live. I just don't know if we're going to be there. We're still figuring things out.
But you should still go, because word on the street is Musty Joe is giving out free high fives to any single person he
If you
meets.
can reach his
he's
hand.
really,
His hand is very
Wait,
high
but
up
you
there.
have to be single?
No.
Oh, it's every single person.
Yes.
Oh, so
Every
so
person.
then you have to not be in a relationship.
Every singular.
Yeah. You can't be in a relationship, but you have to be in a group of people. message at Musty Hobbit for details.
You can't just go to him as a lone person. You have to go to him in a group, but you have to be a single person.
And you have to do it between June 21st and 24th, because that's when the convention's happening.
Also, Musty will probably just high five anyone. He's nice like that.
He usually asks for ID, though.
Yeah. And he likes hands that are slightly sweaty.
I don't
Again,
know if
message him
that's
for
true.
some details. Slip into his DMs, ask him if he likes the sweat.
Slip into the DMs. Oh.
You should not be listening to us about this. You should be finding this information on your own. And they have made a post for it, a blog post for it at cartridgeclub.org/C3. And all the information is there, including a registration form. So if you go there and you fill out the registration form by May May 20th, I think. Will like confirm a spot for you, reserve a hotel at their specially determined rates. And also, I think you get your tickets to Too Many Games as well. So it is just like a one-stop shop where you go in.
And if you enter the promo code FlockTalk, you get 10% off your entire hotel stay.
No, that's a lie, Chris. What are you talking about? Go to cartridgeclub.org/C3. We've made a mess of everything, but
/C3, that is SEETHRE.
EE and enter the promo code FlockTalk 2011.
Oh no, guys, I'm sorry.
It is, though, cartridgeclub.org/C the letter 3 the number.
Yes, just 2 characters.
Yeah.
C3.
.gov.
And then for us 3 characters, I'm Myles. You heard Kathryn, Chris. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, everybody. You know, the thing that really surprised me about Reggie was when I found out that he was also making games for Konami under a pseudonym Kojima. Can you believe it? This is getting out of hand.
We're stretching it now. It's as stretched as a stretched Armstrong after 3 days. The arms are long and they're not going back, kid. You ruined your Stretch Armstrong. Your dad paid $25 and now you just have a long-armed thing. And it's never gonna love you. And it's never gonna hug you.